Friday, right? So y'all know it's Friday, and y'all know I like Friday nights, and y'all know I like to get lit. So we're gonna do something a little different this week because we're gonna still do our declaration, but we're gonna start off with my little song. So I need y'all to roll with me tonight. Y'all feeling this good? Yes,
Yep.
baby. Oh, nobody saying nothing.
Yes.
So you see what I wrote in there, right? All I do is win, win, win.
Yes.
If you feel like that, I want you to type that in the chat. All I do is win, win, win. Yes. Okay, I feel like I'm by myself, but it's all right. Where my chat is at? There you go. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, look at my girl came in there. Oh, and my number one. Awesome, Danielle. You know you are the bomb diggity, right? Bomb diggity. I am not gonna pull share my screen, but I am going to do our declaration because we know that is dear to the debt weapon and we live by these words. Oh, there we go, Drew. Thank you for participating. Y'all made me feel loved today. I'm a little hoarse. You can probably tell I don't sound like myself, but nonetheless, I enjoy being on this call and I enjoy being around people with the right mindset that want to win in life and want to do the things to make their lives better. We know that the debt weapon, and that's what this program is all about. So we're going to get started. I don't want to take too long because we have a guest speaker tonight. I don't know if I'm introducing him or I'm going to turn it over to Sabor, but somebody will introduce this phenomenal speaker tonight that's going to educate us. So let's do this. If we can all unmute ourselves and let Raquel, welcome to the call, dear. Thank you. You hear me?
I do. Good evening, friends.
Good evening. You late, but I need.
I know I'm late, but I'm here. What we doing?
That's all right. I need
Declaration.
I
You
just
missed,
said.
all, you missed all the songs Renee were playing. You missed all the songs.
Oh, you missed all. I can still hit you up a little bit. Wait a minute. I'll give you a little bit. Right?
All right now.
Okay. All right. All right, but I need you to type for me in the chat. All I do is win, win, win. Type that in the chat for me. All I do is win, win, win. All right, so we're gonna start our declaration. There you go. Tamika did it twice.
Shoot, why not, man? All I do is win, win, win. It's all about a movement. So every movement is a movement,
right? So we want to make sure we stay in our positive mindset because we know mindset is so important about anything and everything we do in life. I don't care what it's about, money, about family, about your health, whatever it is, we know the key is our mindset. So that's why we do our declaration so that we can get our mindsets where we need to be. So if you guys can unmute yourselves and just humor me a little bit and just repeat after me so we can do our declaration and we can get on with this call, I would be so obliged. Y'all with me tonight?
We with you.
All right, let's go. This is my life.
This is my life.
I declare today my mindset has changed.
I declare today that my mindset has changed.
I am clear about my path.
I am clear about my path.
I am debt free.
I am debt free.
I walk in the understanding of my finances.
I walk in the understanding of my finances.
I control my spending habits.
I control my spending habits.
I know my part is coming up, so I really need you to say this like you mean it. I am not a consumer.
I am not a consumer.
I am an investor.
I am an investor.
My money works for me.
My money works for me.
All things are possible to me because I believe.
All things are possible to me because I believe.
I live in abundance.
I live in abundance.
And y'all know, here we go. I am financially sexy.
I am financially sexy.
And I won't give up.
And I won't give up because all we do is win, win, win.
For real, if you believe that type, all I do is win, win, win.
Because all I do is win, win, win.
All I do is win, win, win.
All I do is win.
That's it. Michael, do you win? Right, Drew, are you winning?
We are winning.
Oh, look at my girl coming on tonight. Joy, say, bro, you winning? Raquel, yes, we winning?
Yes, I'm winning.
All right. Say, bro, would you like me to introduce Michael, or would you like to have that honor?
Now I want to introduce Michael, but I do want to go over something before we introduce Michael tonight.
All right, so let me just introduce you then. Let me put this in your hands.
No,
so I just want to thank you guys for participating and being a part of my Friday night shenanigans, right? Y'all know I love my Friday nights. I'm going to turn this over to our mentor, the man that's teaching us these nice strategies on how we're going to be able to change our life, and people's lives are being changed week to week. So we want to give him great applause and thank him for the education that he's providing for us. So without further ado, let's give him a yay. And I'm going to give it over to our board, the Mary. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you really ready? Because if you're really ready, I need you to put in the chat. All I do is win. No, do it.
We got it. We on
it. I'm like, oh, look at, let me see. Oh, there it is. They're coming in. Yes, thank you. Oh, there it is.
I think I feel weird.
All right, guys, I'm gonna turn it over to Sabor tonight.
Tamika is typing fast over there. So I just wanted to talk about something before we introduce Michael. Michael Stevens. He's a financial advisor. He's been on a couple of calls, and you know, I hope that he's not one of the broke financial advisors, because I don't know if y'all know or not, there's a lot of broke financial advisors. So, but he's going to give us some education. But I want to talk about something that I was speaking to somebody about earlier this week, and it's your relationship. It's actually, I'm talking about your relationships. We all have relationships on here, right? We have relationships with our spouse. We have relationship with our job. We have relationships with our cell phones. But a lot of people don't talk about their relationship with their money. And a lot of people can negatively have bad relationships. Your relationship is going to affect the way you think about money. A lot of this stuff stems back from when we were childs. A lot of this stuff stems back from the culture. We have a lot of minorities on this call. A lot of this stems back from the culture. A lot of this stuff stems back from, you know, we wasn't taught financial literacy. So we got our stuff from our environment, right? So anything that we pick up from our environment, it automatically shapes and molds our minds as we are adults. Somebody has said, Sabor, I keep just, I just, every time I try to get on top, I just push myself back down with spending habits. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, you have to think about it. Your spending habits is not the cause. You know, this stems back deeper and root deeper in you for you to continuously create a cycle and continuously put yourself in the hole and continuously stop looking at your money the way it's supposed to be looked at, and which is a vehicle for financial wealth and freedom, then there's a problem here. And there's not, and again, a lot of it stems back from culture. A lot of it stems back from the way we were taught about money, credit, all these negative beliefs and habits. Money don't grow on trees. Don't ask me for nothing when we go in the store. What do I look like? I'm made of money. All these things have all of them, yeah. All of them. All these things have a negative effect on our lives. So I just wanted us to think about this before a moment and bear with me as I try to explain my understanding of how I transform and transition my mind, right? One of the first things that I literally started doing once I started doing the velocity banking and putting my money to work, again, your money should be having babies. Your money should be making money, right? And that money should be making money. That is what's called passive and generational wealth, right? A lot of times we'll get a 9 to 5, live paycheck to paycheck, then you may make good income, or you may have a savings, but all those things can actually negatively impact your mind and negatively impact you. Because me as an entrepreneur, I'll rather hustle to eat and then work for security to eat. And a lot of times what people do in a 9 to 5, they have security. They don't think about investing no more. They don't think about taking the risk to actually provide more money into their family. They don't think about opening a business because all those are scarcity mindset. What if I fail? What if these things fail? What if I go through, you know what I mean? So all these scarcity mindsets can actually negatively affect your relationship with money, right? So, you know, is your relationship bad with money? You know, we've seen people that have negative relationship, toxic relationships, like literally, you know, husbands and wives, boyfriend and girlfriends knocking themselves out. But at the same time, they turn around and love each other again. we can still do the same things in our relationship with money. We knocking each other out. You're trying to get on top. Instead of being in a partnership, we are fighting against each other. There's a negative pull. We're pulling each other. And these things can, again, affect our future growth. So we have to think about our relationship with money. We have to think about, all the things that can hurt us. I was telling the investment group the other day, believe it or not, more people will talk about their sex life before they talk about their finances. And that's a problem. We're still in it. We're still behind. And the people will rather talk about, look at all the TikToks and Facebook. You see more of the BS than you see people educating each other. And people that educate each other, they turn away from. They rather watch the BS instead of educating themselves, right? And this is avoidance, because what happens is when they start talking about money, they have money anxiety, they have money avoidance, they have financial shame. We've seen it. You'll have somebody with a designer on with $2 in their purse, what I mean? Driving a Mercedes and pulling up to a trailer park. We've seen all these financial shames that can actually negatively impact us going forward. We not that no more, right? We're not consumers no more. We investors on this call, right? We investing for our future. We're investing for our family. We're investing for our financial health. So again, some of the factors that can impact your money is culture, believe it or not, religion. Religion has a very big part, especially most of us that maybe grew up in the church. There's a lot of negative beliefs about having money and supposed to be poor, and not talking about the scriptures or the verses that talk about abundance and financial wealth and being financial healthy. Gender can be a big thing, family, of course, childhood upbringing, and then education or the lack of education, right? So my eyes, what are some unhealthy relationships with money can look like, right? Impulsive shopping, maxing out credit cards, avoiding your finances altogether and credit, because a lot of people say, well, my credit already messed up, I don't care, avoiding that, refusing to talk about money or seeking financial help. And that again comes about when we talk about investing in yourself, disliking or displaying anger towards people that seem to be financially secure. My mentor, he used to tell me, he said, if you see somebody with a nice car, you tell them that's a nice car. You congratulate them on that, because what you're doing, even though you're giving them, congratulating them, you're changing your mindset and behavior and telling yourself it's okay to have. Also, he used to tell me, whenever you fly first class, because once you fly first class, you can never go back. And I can never go back. I promise you guys. I can't never go back. You know what I mean? So he always try to encourage you to seek more and be better, right? So again, but before then, I would see somebody that seemed to be financially off or good, good. And for some reason, I had a dislike or distaste in my mouth for them. You know what I mean? It was like, ugh. But now I know that it's okay it's okay to be financially wealthy. It's okay to be financially sound, those things like that. But on the other end of that, there can be people that's afraid to spend money on necessities, because you financially, having a bad relationship with finances can actually be the opposite. Now you're a saver. You won't invest in yourself. Now you're a saver. You won't spend money on necessities. Now you're a saver that you're hiding money in savings account and Raheem under the bed, you know what I mean? Because now you have that scarcity mindset. What if something happens? And again, this stuff comes back from the way we was raised and the way we were taught about money, right? So, again, and I believe, like, in my opinion, those so-called walls that we build around us are actually, built for us. We put those walls around us because we feel like it's a security. Same thing. We'll take a W-2 job and not open up a business because it's security. Not only that, you think about it. Again, I always say, when we were younger, we were taught to go to school, get good grades, and get a job. Nobody ever said to us, go to school, get good grades, and create jobs, right? Because we were, again, our parents were taught, their parents were taught that a job, just over broke, living paycheck to paycheck, was the way. You know, a lot of us on here now know that is not the way. With the cost of goods, the cost of the inflating of prices, again, housing market going up and interest rates on top of that, nobody's paycheck is changing. So how are these people going to survive, right? Unless you learn how to invest in yourself. So again, you know, the real question is, what is your relationship with money? How is your relationship with money holding you back? And with that, I'm going to introduce Michael Stevens. He is a financial advisor. He's been on a couple of our calls. And Michael, you can go ahead and take over from here. Sorry for y'all hearing me rant, but I just want everybody to start, you know, thinking about what he's talking about tonight.
Thank you so much, Sabor, for this opportunity to speak with everybody. And hey, how's everybody going? How's everybody doing tonight? Go ahead and write in the chat where you all tuning in from. I would like to know, where's everybody tuning in from? I'm actually from Los Angeles, California. And yeah, born and raised here my whole life. Straight out of high school, I went into the medical field direction because I wanted security. I wanted a job that's going to be around for a while. So I went to radiology. I started studying how to become an X-ray technician. I did that for about 3 years, but I felt very undervalued because I was only getting paid $15 an hour. And this was back in 2008. So I felt like I'm doing good for the people. I'm going out my way to drive 45 minutes away from my home for only to receive $16.50 an hour. And I just saw that. And I was like, I need to do something because if I continue to stay here, I'm going to end up just like everybody else. So I was like, what's the next step in the medical field? Luckily, 1 mile away was an MRI school. So I started to understand how MRIs work. So I went to school for about a year, and it was fascinating learning new technology, seeing the insides of the body, cross-sectional anatomy. It was new to me, and I was really intrigued. I felt like that was going to be my career for my entire life. I thought I was going to retire there. I landed a job, and I seen a huge increase. So I was getting paid double for my new job at age 22. And me being young, making good money, guess what I was doing? Had poor money habits. You make money, you spend money, you wait for your paycheck. And that was me. I was never taught how money works. I never was taught how to invest, how to properly save. I never was taught how to get out of debt. And guess what? I would get money, spend it. Oh, I was approved $5,000 credit limit. Awesome. Let me max it out. I only have to pay $100 a month to pay my bills. Boom. $100 to max out about $5,000 credit card. That was a huge mistake. So let me bring it back a little bit. I've actually grew up with my mother. She actually had a bankruptcy. So it was passed down, those poor money habits. She maxed out all her credit cards, single mother. She raised me all on her own, but I guess those credit cards were her free money. But it could be free money if you know how to leverage that type of line of credit. But as for her, she just thought, oh, it's free money, I'll pay it back. And then long story short, she ended up in bankruptcy. And I was just like, she never taught me any better. So during my 20s, very comfortable at my job. I worked for that one particular company 8 years. And out of those 8 years, guess how many times I got a raise? I got a raise 2 times. 2 times. They always had an excuse. The economy's bad. Oh, we're actually expanding locations. So we're going to spread all across SoCal. So we're building other clinics, other hospitals. Oh, this and that. They always had an excuse to give all the employees. And I would see that. I would go talk to other technicians, front office, back office people, all frustrated and miserable. And I thought to myself, if I end up here, I'm going to end up like them. And so I was looking, but I was so comfortable that it scared me to look because I had an easy job. I just pressed a few buttons. Everything was a routine, clock in, clock out, and that was my day. But not until one point where I became dissatisfied. I started to not liking going to work. And a miracle happened where an old friend of mine said, hey, Mike, have you ever learned about money? Have you ever learned about business, entrepreneurship? I'm like, No, I have never been taught that, but I did. I did become an investor in 2014. I became part owner of a barbershop in my hometown. So I had a taste of business, but I never understood business. I didn't run the back end. All I was the investor. Hey, Mike, I need this money. I'll give you a percentage of the barbershop. I said, okay, cool. But I had poor money habits. He pretty much gave me back my money with a little bit of profit. So it's not passive income anymore. It's not passive income. So when I started to learn more about how to generate passive income, that really sparked my interest, because becoming in business back in 2014, I was a newbie. We all have to fail in life in order to experience the greatness of our potential. So this opportunity fell in my lap and I started to learn. Hey, Mike, you're actually working for someone else. Hey, do you know you're making their dreams come true? Hey, do you know that what are you doing to your life? What are you doing to yourself so you can make your dreams come true? Do you want to be stuck in the system like the majority of Americans? And that really spoke to me, because in 2008, we all know what happened. Real estate market crashed. Stock market crashed about 49%. And unfortunately, my grandmother, she retired in 2008. She had her money in a 401k. She started depositing money because she was taught that was the right thing to do. So she worked for her company for about 20 years, building up a nice portfolio. And for only the market to crash, her taking out her money when she retired, and she's down 40%. She's down 40%, and that actually hit home. I never understood what that meant back in 2008, but now that I became into the financial world, I started to see how much of a big impact that affected her and my family. Now she's left with $0 for retirement. She's living off of Social Security income. And I don't know if you all know, but Social Security income is set to deplete all its funds, but in the year 2034. The year 2034, Social Security is not going to be able to pay out the benefits as it was projected to pay out, unfortunately. So when I started to learn this, I started something part-time, something spare time, because I had my 9 to 5. I was cool about it, but I was dissatisfied. I wanted to make my dreams come true. So as I started to learn more and more about money and finance, business, I started to actually do the dirty work. A lot of people don't like doing the dirty work. And once you do the dirty work, you have to put in the hours, the studying, the timing, the effort. You have to encounter the fails. And a lot of people don't like doing that. But when I actually started doing that, starting to take this business more serious, I started to feel that I can actually branch out and quit my job. I don't have to make my boss's dreams come true anymore. I can do that for myself. And a catalyst happened in 2020, and we all know what happened there. Coronavirus and the medical field did not get along. So imagine me seeing patients every 10 minutes, scared because coronavirus was brand new, was killing a bunch of people. I did not want to do that. I did not want to bring COVID to my family. So I decided to take that leap of faith back in July of 2020 and cut all ends and not look back in the medical field and start my practice here. So I don't know if you guys know this, but when you guys study a profession, right? So if you want to become a good cook, you want to make good food, you become a chef. If you want to become a good stylist, you go in the fashion industry. But if you want to make a lot of money, you got to learn about money and be in the money industry, right? So that's exactly what I decided to do. I started to realize that this industry is very lucrative. It's a very lucrative industry because all we're doing here is just, there's no overhead, and we're just complimentary, educating families and individuals, because these are the things that should have been taught in high school, in college, in the work field. The banks don't teach us this. So there is an organization by the name of WealthWave, and I'm part of this organization, and they published a book several years ago, and it's a top seller. If you search it up on Amazon, you see nothing but positive reviews. And I'm gonna go ahead and I believe I left a link on the chat so everybody can take a look at this digital copy of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. If you allow me, Sabor, make me co-host, please.
I'm sorry, it's all yours.
All right, perfect. All righty. Can everybody see my screen? Can I get a thumbs up, Sabor? Perfect. All righty. All right. So Wealth Wave, we're changing the financial industry. We're disrupting the financial industry so families can dream again. When people think financial advisor, what do they think of? Oh, you have to have a lot of money to sit with the financial advisor. Most financial advisors only sit with people that have a minimum of $250,000 in assets in their name. And we're actually changing the game up. We want to revolutionize the financial world. We want to sit down with everybody and anybody, no discrimination here, because these are the things that can change one's financial future. So I'm going to be talking about inflation. Talk about right now, current times, very, very high. As Sabor was mentioning, the increased cost of goods and services. That's what inflation is. So we're at a very, very high inflation rate this year, all-time high over the last 40 years. We're close to 9%. But if you were to average it out over the last 100 years, what the inflation rate is, it's approximately 3%. I don't know if anybody noticed this or have they encountered this when they worked for a job. Typically, those job raises are 3%. So you can keep up with the cost of living year in and year out, just to keep you happy. They give you just enough to get you happy. And that's what I got stuck in my early 20s, my mid 20s. So inflation is real and it's going to be here for quite a while. So if you're not making 8%, 9%, 10% extra income per month, you're actually safely losing money because the purchasing power of the money in your bank is slowly diminishing. Any questions so far? I just want to make sure that everybody's tuned in loud and clear. Any questions? We're good. So sad to say, but there's a lot of articles out. If you search up on the web, look on the newspaper, that Americans' $7 trillion retirement crisis is only getting worse. They're getting worse because of the pandemic, the war in Europe, especially inflation. And right now, Social Security is not necessarily keeping up with the increase of inflation to pay the elderly, the people that are living off of solely Social Security, such as my grandma. She's still receiving what she qualified for over the last 3 years. She's still receiving that, but gasoline is on the rise, food is on the rise, even rent, property taxes is on the rise. So what happens when the cost of goods happens, when they increase, debt occurs. And when debt occurs, people don't even know how to get out of debt. Not even the US government know how to get out of debt. Currently, to this date, the US economy, the USA is in $30 trillion of debt. And guess who's to follow that? Society. We turn on TV, hey, buy this new iPhone, buy this new Samsung, go here, go there. But they never teach you how to get out of debt or how to leverage good debt. They don't teach you how to save your money or invest your money. So that's why I felt passionate about these companies, because we're just trying to change an industry. Our vision is a world where everyone is financially literate, has access to the tools and support they need to use that knowledge to create a better life for themselves and their children. Throw some ones in the chat if you feel that's a good vision right there, right? I wish this vision was here when I was growing up, because I'm sure my mom would have had a different financial future. So I'm just trying to change one family, one person at a time. So we're so ambitious that we actually started an educational system. We're actually where we created our own. This is the book, How Money Works. It's a thin book, really easy to read, a lot of scenarios, a lot of stories, but it's jam-packed with knowledge. A lot of stuff that I'm gonna be going over in just a few minutes. So we've had so much media exposure. You can see all over all the different types of news channels. I don't know if you know who Marshall Faulk is, an NFL Hall of Famer running back. He's actually my business partner. He has his office out in San Diego, and he's actually an educator as well as me. So he's educating out in San Diego and also part of the NFL alumni. So a lot of NFL players, a lot of NBA players, MLB players, they go broke after retirement. I'm gonna retire from the sport. They go broke, and then they have to end up going back to school or do something else. So we're just trying to change how broke athletes think as well. So yeah, we started a little platform where it's no cost to anybody. We provide a complimentary financial education. We have classes, financial wellness programs, and one-on-ones. So there's 7 money milestones. I like to say that this is 7 areas of financial stability. So first, you have to be educated, just like how you're getting educated on velocity banking. You're getting seller's finance. You got to get educated first. So once you become educated in that area, or once you become financially literate, and if you don't become financially literate on your own, you have to go out and search for a financial professional. And a lot of people don't trust people out in the real world. They don't trust them because who knows what's real and what's not real on the internet nowadays. So you have to find a licensed financial professional, fiduciary, someone that who knows who they're talking about. Step number 2 is have that proper protection, because how are you going to have all this money, all this wealth, but not protect your wealth, right? How are you going to build your 401k up and not have protection on your 401k? How are you going to have multiple homes and not protection on those homes? So we work closely with the state planning attorneys, and we create a living trust and wills and such forth. Step number 3 is we have that emergency fund. So we teach people how to have a healthy, established emergency fund. It's pretty much 3 to 6 months of your income. God forbid if something were to happen, you get hurt, you get sick, you get laid off from your job. You need to have some sort of cushion. We all saw what happened in 2020. Nobody had cushion. So we had the government help out. And now since the government helped out the most money have they ever gave, now we have to reap that. We have to continue funding the government for years to come. Increase in taxes, increase of just inflation, increase of all sorts of things. Debt management. So we have to change our spending habits, strive to eliminate debt, but also understand how to leverage debt. Step number 5 is cash flow. So if you're not earning additional cash flow, if you're not making multiple streams of income, back in the days, sources of income, they used to be a luxury back in the day. Now it's a necessity. People need to have multiple sources of income to just to live. So we show people how to actually build wealth and actually just avoid the impact of taxes and losses, because probate, I don't know if it's big in your guys' states, but it's huge here in California. It's a lengthy process. It tears families apart. They remove assets from family belongings. The judge gets to keep the judge gets to decide who gets to keep what, where the children end up in foster care. That's not right, right? Shouldn't our families get to decide who gets to keep what, but the laws, the government's here. So we got to understand the law and the government. So we got to protect our wealth. We got to guard our legacy. All right. I'm going to teach you guys about something called the Rule of 72. If anybody has heard of the Rule of 72, please put it in the chat. Please put it in the chat. So the Rule of 72, Albert Einstein, he made this Rule of 72 very popular. He actually once said that the Rule of 72 is the 8th wonder of the world, because he actually figured out how many years is it going to take for your money to double. So you get the number 72 and you divide it by your rate of return. So typically, rate of return at just a low investment, maybe like a CD at a bank, a certificate of deposit, they typically give you about a 1% back. 72 divided by 1, that means that your money will double every 72 years in that 1% account. Let's go ahead and get some more examples here. Let's just say there's an account keeping up with inflation, 3%. 72 divided by 3, your money will double every 24 years in that account. 72 divided by 6%. That means your money will double every 12 years. Let's skip all the way over to a 12% rate of return. Who likes big rates of returns? Who wants to see a 10% rate of return, 15% rate of return, 20% rate of return on their investment? We all do, right? So let's just take a look at this one right here. 72 divided by a 12% rate of return. That means that your money will double every 6 years in that account where your money is growing. Let's go ahead and talk about banks, because the majority of people in America, they keep their money in the bank, earning them low or no interest at all. So Bank of America, I have Bank of America, just to have my little play money, savings account, 0.01%. We have BB&T, Capital One, Charles Schwab, TD Bank. They're all very, very low. So you're safely losing money at the bank due to inflation. So if you average it out all throughout the US, it's about a 0.09% rate of return. So if we do the math, if we do the rule of 72, 72 divided by 0.09%, that means your money would double every 800 years in the bank. In the bank. And that's the worst way to do so. People think it's the safety, the accessibility, but it's going to end up hurting them in the long run. So I'm going to just do one example here, just so we can take a look at live numbers. 72 divided by 10. We all have a calculator, we can do it. 72 divided by 10, that means your money would double every 7.2 years. For this example here shown, this is an individual that's 29 years old, and he deposited $10,000 in an account that's averaging a 10% rate of return. 7 years later, you're 36 years old, that 10K doubles to 20K. 7 years later, you're 43, your 20K doubles to 40K. You're 50 now, your 40K doubles to 80,000. You're 57, your 80,000 doubles to 160,000. You're now 65, that 160,000 has doubled to 320. And that one-time $10,000 investment you have invested back in when you were 29 years old would have doubled and compounding and grow all the way up to about 640,000. And that's having your money work for you because you work hard for money. Why not have your money work hard for you? So the rule of 72 can also work against you when borrowing loans, when borrowing money that has high interest rates. So let's go ahead and just talk about a high credit card, 30% APR. 72 divided by 30%. Anybody can see this? Every 2.4 years, your balance will double up on you if you continue paying the minimum. If you pay the minimum on your credit card, you'll end up paying double in about 2.4 years. So that's how the rule of 72 can work against you. But I want everybody to take one thing away from today's call is having the rule of 72 work for you. All righty, we're almost done, guys. All right, now I'm gonna teach you all 3 ways on how an individual can grow their money. So we all have fixed accounts. Those are your banks. The bank grows at a 0.00%, 0.001%, 0.009%. It's fixed. If the market goes up, you don't gain interest. If the market tanks, you don't lose value of your balance. So it's a fixed, you're earning steady growth there. So banks are generally for your bills and your emergency fund. Now you want to have your money work for you. And this are the second way of growing your money is called a variable type way of growing your money. And there are 3 subcategories. We got the stock market. If you take a look at your 401k, your traditional IRA, your Roth IRA, whatever you guys have that's invested in the market, take a look at it. You're going to see graphs go up in value, go down in value. It's not a bad idea, but it could be a bad idea if you're gambling your money and you're getting close to retirement. So that's the first category. Second category is cryptocurrency markets. You invest in Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. You buy it at a certain value, it goes up in value, but it can also go down in value. Very, very risky, but that's a variable way of growing your money. Third subcategory is real estate. You buy a home, you fix it up, you flip it, you just made profit. Or you buy a home and you hold it. It goes up in value. The housing market is going up, it's going up. Now you just double your equity on your home, on your purchase. You can either sell it, you do some sort of HELOC, cash out, refi, leverage that money that you build up in there. Leverage it up in there, and then now you have producing assets with that tax-free money you're getting. Tax-free money, tax-free money. So that's the 3 ways of growing your money in a variable category. Now let's talk about indexed. Anybody on this call heard of indexed accounts? Sabor? Awesome, awesome. So indexed accounts, these are type of accounts or I like to call it a hybrid of both a fixed and variable, because in a fixed account, there is no losses in your money. In a variable account, you can earn high rates of returns. So let me explain to you what indexed means. So these are the type of accounts where it's going to be invested in the market. If the market does 10%, 15%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, if it performs really well, you'll end up capturing that gain. So let me go ahead and give you some examples with some numbers just to make math easy. You have $100,000 and the market goes up 15%. 15% of 100,000, your account now gets credited $15,000. See that right here? $15,000. Now your account has $115,000. The market goes down. We have a bad year. Oh no. The value of your money does not lower. You still have $115,000 in your account. The market shoots back up. You now have $140,000. We have some down years coming the next few years. You still have 140,000. Boom, market shoots back up. You now have 160,000. So this is one way to leverage an account where you can have your money grow, but not have any losses. So I like to call this market correction protection, MCP. So it's all about diversifying. You have your fixed, you have your bank, you have your variable, you have your different types of investments, and you have your index. I like to call this a financial foundation to one's portfolio, because if the stock market goes to crap, you can lose money in a variable account. If the cryptocurrency market goes to crap, you can lose money. Now, if the housing market goes to crap, you have to just hold on a few more years so the market value can go back up. All right. And any questions so far on these types of 3 ways of money growing? Anything in the chat? Let me take a look at it real quick. 1111. Yes, me. Coach Renee, you have questions?
No, you asked about the index.
Oh, you heard about it. Okay,
I heard about it. Yeah. I mean, I think maybe you should probably just go through the presentation and then have the questions on the end, because I do, but I'll just wait to the end of the presentation.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So there's a huge need in my industry. The problem is that 90% of Americans don't even have $140,000. 70% of Americans have less than $1,000 of accessible cash. 50% arrive at death or retirement with nothing. 75% arrive at death or retirement with less than $28,000 in assets. Huge problem, huge epidemic in our society. Another thing, why are taxes so high? I don't know if you knew this, but when Donald Trump was in office, he actually signed a tax bill. He actually lowered the taxes than they were previously when Obama was in office. So I don't know if anybody has noticed that the taxes when they receive their W-2 paychecks are a little bit more than they were than when Obama was in office. So he actually signed a 8-year deal having the tax brackets at all-time lows. So the highest right now tax bracket is about 37%. But at one point in time, tax brackets were all the way up to about 95% getting taxed. You get taxed at 95%. So that means for every $100 you earned, you would just be able to keep $5. And this was in the 1940s, the 1950s. So I'm going to talk to you all now 3 ways on how your money gets taxed. So tax now, these are you get paid every week, every 2 weeks, your W-2 checks. You're now paying taxes to state and federal if your state has applicable taxes. So every year you get taxed. What else you get taxed on? Property taxes. Every year you pay taxes. You have brokerage accounts such as individual stocks. You have your index funds, your mutual funds. Depending on if you bought, if you sold, you have to pay taxes. Is it short-term capital gains tax? Is it long-term capital gains tax? Who knows? It just depends on how long you've held. So short-term capital gains is when you buy and you sell an investment within 1 year. You're going to have to pay ordinary income tax. Ordinary income tax is your state tax and federal taxes combined. Now, if you buy and hold and you sell over a year, Now that is long-term capital gains. And depending on your tax bracket, you can end up paying no taxes. You can end up paying no taxes. So I would have you all speak with your CPA or your tax preparer to see if you fall under those categories of holding your investment longer than a year. Tax later, these are your type of retirement accounts. These are your real estate properties. You could do your 1031 exchanges. You can just invest your money in an IRA, your retirement account, your 403B, your 457, your TSP accounts, your 401ks, all those different type of accounts. They're growing with time, but you're not paying taxes. You'll end up paying taxes later in the future. And who knows what taxes are going to be at in the next 10, 15, 20 years. Are they going to be the same? Are they going to be lower? Are they going to go up? And then we have our tax never, or tax-free, or tax advantage, taking advantage of the tax situation. So these are the money, these are the type of accounts where you can grow your money tax-free. And when you want to access your money later in the future, it's all tax-free as well. So I'm gonna give you some examples. So here we go. So these are your tax-free examples here. You got your government bonds. Who's heard of muni bonds, municipal bonds? When you give money to the government, the state, the city, and they go ahead and they complete a project with your money, they're going to go ahead and give you back your money, but with a 3 to 5% interest rate of return back. Then we have our Roth IRAs, your Roth individual retirement accounts. These are invested with after-tax dollars. So these are the money that you have in your checking account, your savings account, possibly even your credit cards. You can invest your money in these type of accounts, and it's going to grow. It's going to grow soon. It's going to grow all the way into the lifetime of the investment. But most or all retirement accounts, they have 59.5 rules. 59.5 means that you cannot touch that money until you reach the age 59.5, unless you'll get subject to penalty, a 10% penalty. And I don't know who likes the idea, but I want to be able to touch my money the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, right? Before I'm 59.5. If I want to retire at age 50, do I have to wait 9 more years in order for me to touch that money? In some instances, yes. But then we have something called permanent life insurance. So these type of accounts, you grow your money, it's going to grow tax-free, and it works just like an investment account, savings account. It's going to grow with insurance. So when the market tanks or anything, your money's protected. So permanent life insurance uses a strategy when it comes with index. Permanent life insurances grow their money index, so you'll never lose your money in case there's any market correction protection. So this is exactly what I want to talk about here. So IUL, has anybody heard of this term before? So they say that this is the Swiss Army knife of financial strategies, because here you generate tax-free income, provide for possible long-term care expenses. Long-term care, let me tell you a scary fact. Long-term care and disability is the #1 reason why people in America go broke. Long-term care and disability is the #1 reason why people go broke, because people do not plan on getting sick or hurt. And if they don't plan, they're planning to fail. And I've seen stories, I've heard stories, and I've seen people had to sell their homes, have to sell their car, have to use all the retirement just so they can keep up with the cost of living. Their medical needs are going to be very, very expensive. So there's a long-term care calculator that I can go ahead and pop up here that everybody can and use and understand what long-term care is going to cost them in their state. Here we go. So you just go to genworth.com, and then we go to
Michael, are you trying to show us on the screen the calculator? Because we're still seeing your screen.
There we go.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry. Really, really quickly. So if anybody wants to go on this website, genworth.com, you go to Aging and You, cost of care, and then you just type in your zip code. I'll go ahead and put mine here, 91342. In today's times, or 2021, in-home care costs about $6,000 per month. Community and assisted living care, about $5,000. Adult daycare, $1,600. Nursing home, $9,000 here in California. A private room, $11,000 a month. A month. So you can see that this is actually draining people's pockets if they don't plan properly. So I know we're coming up on time. Just want to just share with you just a little bit. Will the long-term care tax be coming to your state? So we're going to be continue paying taxes. Inflation is going to continue to rise. And what are we doing? What are we doing about it? Right. So it's just understand.
I'm sorry. I think your screen is frozen. You probably have to stop sharing and reshare again if you went back to your other screen. It's like stuck on the. There we go.
There we go. How about now?
Yeah, perfect.
All righty. So yeah, this is the last page. Will the long-term care tax be coming to your state? New state employee payroll tax law for long-term care benefits. So we all know that long-term care is a big crisis. So if you don't have anything in place, I would just bring awareness to yourself. Are you protected in case something were to happen if you get sick or hurt? All right, guys. Well, that's my time. Just wanted to share with you the 3 ways how money grows, what compound interest is, and how to understand the rule of 72, how money gets taxed, the importance of just taking care of your finances and your wellness, well-being. So with that being said, thank you all for your time with me. It's a pleasure. And if you have any questions, concerns, I'll go ahead and have anybody unmute themselves.
Oh, thank you so much, Michael, for your presentation. Awesome. Yep. Does anybody have any questions for Michael?
I don't necessarily have a question. I just have a statement. I was watching The View, and then I went online to read the article and read the transcript from the rep. Actually, her name is Congressman Katie Porter from your state, from California, was grilling one of the financial advisors. Oh, I'm sorry, he's a microeconomic or microeconomist. And they were talking about why inflation is so high. And she pointed out with all these charts, and it was just ridiculous, that the reason why inflation is so high is because of corporate profits. It has nothing to do with things needing to be like eggs in the state of Connecticut. I don't know about anywhere else, but some stores you go to and the eggs are like $6.99, $7.99, $10. One week I went to the grocery store and the only eggs they had left, they were $10. So I refused to buy eggs. And milk was $8 for a half a gallon of milk. And I skipped buying milk. I was like, I'm going to go to another store, going to find another store with at least $5 milk. And it was organic milk, but it still was almost $10 for milk. And it's not that these things have to be at these prices, just the amount of corporate greed. And I was thinking about that just in my grocery bill, just, making my weekly budget of, what we're going to eat or menu of what we're going to eat, and then what we're going to buy at the store. And I'm like, well, they don't have to be charging me $7 or $6 for my kids' cereal. A bag of chips should not be costing me $6 for one bag of chips that aren't even the same size as what they used to be. And it's not that, they can't manufacture it here. It's not that the packaging is costing them more. It's the fact that they're trying to just, make profits. It was like 54%. So they can clear profits of 54%. And it's really, they're just taking advantage of the people. So yes, having financial literacy is very important because you're being, railroaded in some aspects by media to think that the price of things are just going up. But no, you're really just being taken advantage of because you're the low person on the totem pole. You're not sitting in these executive offices. You're not getting these beautiful, bonuses at the end of every year of hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. You're just one of these low people on totem pole. So it's really important for people to have financial literacy. When Sabor was talking earlier about, people that have a nice car and they're driving up to a trailer park. I work in education. I'm a teacher. I look around our parking lot at school and I laugh some days because, we have everything from Teslas, Range Rovers, and Jaguars to me driving my Altima that's, 12 years old. I have a newer car, but it's paid for, it runs, it gets me where I, have to go. But, people have car notes or lease payments of $1,000. They're willing to pay $1,000 a month to lease a vehicle. And I live in Connecticut. Our taxes are not cheap by any. Our property taxes are through the roof. And some of it is just that people are, we're just being taken advantage of. And our priorities, like Sabor was saying, our relationship with money, it's important to some people, to have a car that says something to other people. They assume that it says something to other people about where they are in life. And to me, it doesn't say something to me about where they are in life, because you get up and you come and teach these students just like I do. You have to be here. Apparently, you have to be here. This isn't, it's not because you just want to. I know the people I work with, it's not because they just want to be here. They have to be here. They are comfortable, I guess in certain parts of their life and uncomfortable in other parts of their life. I just kind of want to make that statement about the profits and about the relationship with money, that it's all very interesting. You really, really, really got to keep reading, and, financial education is really key. When 2020 happened and the pandemic came, we were comfortable. My husband's very frugal. He's like a frugal Freddy, and he has a different relationship with money, I guess, than most, because he comes from old school parents. But I think that's key. I just think the financial literacy part is it's very much needed, because people assume that the 401k is going to take you where you have to go, that maybe just having an additional IRA is going to take you where you have to go, or that Social Security will be here and that will take you to where you have to go. And I see it every day. I see people retiring and then they're coming back to sub, because our pensions aren't even going to cover if they choose to stay in our state. Maybe if they go somewhere else and live subpar, but if they want to stay and be comfortable where they are now, it's not enough, not at all.
It's true. Thank you, Raquel, for that. Did you want to comment, Michael?
No, I was going to say thank you so much for sharing, Raquel. And yeah, totally agree with you. Yeah, that it's just corporate greed. It's corporate greed. It's not the supply and demand. It's corporate greed, and they're just making all these excuses. The war, and this and that. Oh, China, this and that. North Korea, this and that. No, it's not that. It's corporate greed.
Well, you have to understand that to me, I look at inflation on the business level, right? Inflation on the business level, it can be a catch-22 to a lot of people. For us, if we have a home and that property value goes up, guess what that is? That's inflation. But we don't look at it like that. However, inflation to us, our common people, that lowers our buying power, because the cost of the rise of everything goes up, right? But the problem is it's not really the inflation, it's the fact that we're not making more money to catch up to the inflating prices. People incomes are still staying the same, even with the government trying to fight inflation by raising the interest rates. That is their counteract of the inflation, right? They'll raise the interest rate. What that does is stop us, the borrowers, from borrowing at a lower price. Now you have to borrow at a higher percentage or a higher interest rate. Now, in their mind, that will stop people from automatically spending. They just can't say you can't spend no more, right? They'll raise the prices to stop you from trying to slow you down from spending, or stop you from qualifying for these properties, houses or whatever, credit cards, those type of things. They'll raise those prices. So your buying power, your purchasing power goes down. But inflation can be a catch-22, because we want our homes to increase in value, right? We want our assets to increase in value. So we have to look at it like they're looking at the economy as we will look at our homes or our cars and things like that. So just understand what inflation is and how it actually can be controlled. Us in this program, we teach you the tools, right? We know that your money, your credit is your tools to combat against inflation, right? And it goes back to Raquel said, it's all about your relationship with money. Again, it's very important for everybody in this program to understand what we teach in this program. It's very important for you to understand how to move your money, how to make your money work for you, those type of things, because if you don't know how to make your money and credit work for you, then you're going to be behind, right? again, as you said, it is very critical to understand how to have a healthy relationship with money. Whether you notice or not, you've already built your relationship with your money and your credit. What we're trying to do in this program is break down those old habits and beliefs, that negative and poor habits and beliefs about your money and your credit, right? Because you think about it, the job and the relationship that you have now is influenced by your money habits. The career choice. I know Raquel says she's a teacher. Your career choice, that is influenced by your relationship with money. Your spending habits influenced by your relationship with money. Where you go eat, where you go buy your groceries at. I heard you say some what kind of milk you bought? I would have bought it.
Organic.
I buy only organic. I feed my family well. I buy only
going to
organic.
make a comment about that. He said
they have organic milk and
there you go.
organic eggs and grass fed.
Exactly.
So you want to live a long life.
That's premium food.
But I mean, but again, your relationship with money influences how you even buy dinner and how you think about feeding your family. Again, you have a healthy family because you take care of your money wisely. You know what I mean? Those type of things, they all impact your relationship with money. And I think that's the biggest thing that Michael was trying to talk about, is make sure that you understand and have financial illiteracy is one of the biggest plague of all communities, especially our community, right? Not knowing, not understanding, not having healthy relationship with your money. All this means that, you just basically have to have a good, healthy relationship. What we teach you in this program, I hope, especially the men that take over the household bills, have a little bit more stress-free, a little bit more stress, have less stress on their shoulders. Am I leading that in the right way, guys? Am I saying that? Are you saying that you're a little bit more comfortable? You don't have to worry about spending. You don't have to worry about taking your wife out. You don't have to worry about taking a vacation or buying a necessity or something that you really need in your household, because now you're comfortable. You know how to velocity bank that. You know how to pay that debt off. You know how to move on to the next stages in your life, right? So I hope we all are getting there and feel comfortable with that. But I want to.
I know Michael has to go, but I do just have. I have a couple of notes, so maybe Michael, I'll talk to you offline. But I do have one question that I did want to present to you. And we talked about the rule of 72, right? And I get it, and I appreciate that financial literacy is the key to learning, and how to help people grow their money. So when you have the rule of 72, in your example, it was somebody that was 25. How do a financial advisor with the rule of 72 help a person that's already in their 50s if the money's going to take all that time to double?
Yes. So for that question, it's going to be very difficult. Very, very difficult, because you didn't plan ahead of time, or not you, but I'm just saying.
Well, I don't think it's that we didn't plan. I think, again, we talk about financial literacy. People don't plan because they don't know, right? So now we're getting this education, and now we're learning, and people are now, I'm pretty sure everybody on this call is over the age of 30, right? At least over the age of 30. The only person that I could think of that's not is Nikosha, and she's not on here. So it's not, so to say, well, because you didn't plan, I think that would be I would take that the wrong way, because if I don't know, I can't plan. So if I come to you as a financial advisor and my 40s, and we're talking about you doing a presentation, talking about the rule of 72, I'm in my 40s. I don't have 20, 30 years to have my money double. So as a financial advisor, how would you combat that so that I can grow my money?
So we would take a financial x-ray of your current standings, and we're going to take a look at your current needs. What are going to be your needs? And then we're going to take a look at all the different available vehicles out there and resources so you can get to your goal. So it's not, I can't give you an exact answer, but we would have to do a full x-ray just to see how much cash flow is available, how much is in the investments, how much is income producing assets. We want to figure out your FIRE number. your financial independence, relax early. Because I know a lot of people don't want to work till they're 65, 70,
sir.
75.
I do.
Only some more.
I'm never going to retire. I promise you that.
I think our work is just depending on what type of work
kind
you're
of-
talking about.
I think I understand what you were asking. Your question you're asking, Renee, is
How do you get some
like for a person the person of our age, how do you get
Yeah.
it fast, right? I'm going to tell you how we, my wife on the phone, how we got it fast. Again, it came from real estate. It came from leveraging my credit. I didn't have money. I had to learn how
Oh
to.
no, I know the answer.
Oh, okay,
I just want him to explain
okay.
to me,
Okay.
as a financial advisor, and we're
Yes.
explaining this rule of 72 to somebody. So if I was a person, my question would be, okay, you're 40 years old. In my mind, as a person, would I refer them to Michael Stevens and talk about the rule of 72 and how he's going to help them grow their money quicker? Or I refer him to somebody that's going to help him make that money faster for a quicker return?
Definitely.
Is your money
Definitely.
not-
So